The sterile chill of that office still clings to my skin. 15 years at HighPlains Freight, gone, thanks to Chad Baxter's ink-stained signature. He didn't just fire me, Mark Callahan, he tried to shove my soul into a goddamn shredder. HighPlains, man, that name used to mean something. It used to taste like freedom and hard work, like dust kicked up on a long haul, like the satisfaction of a job done right. I wasn't just a driver, I was part of its damn DNA. I remember when old Mr. Peterson, God rest his soul, and his boy, young Tom, first scraped together enough cash for those 3 wheezing, rattling rigs. They weren't much to look at, cough black smoke like a chain smoker, but they were asterisk or asterisk. Mark, Mr. Peterson would say, his hand gripping my shoulder, his eyes twinkling with that big American dream. This ain't just about moving freight, son. This is about building something that asterisk last asterisk. And we did. Lord, how we worked. Sunrise to sunset, and sometimes right on through. Me, Tom, and a couple of other guys who weren't afraid of grease or grit. We were a family, fueled by cheap coffee and a shared belief that we were creating more than just a trucking company. We were building futures. My wife, sir, she understood. She'd pack my lunches, kiss me goodbye at crazy hours, and always have a smile when I dragged myself home, smelling of diesel and road grime. You love it, don't you, Mark should say, and I couldn't deny it. It was tough, yeah, but it was asterisk honest asterisk. I can still feel the worn leather of that first rig seat, the way the engine grumbled beneath me like a loyal old dog. Every client back then wasn't just a name on a manifest, they were folks we knew. I'd share coffee with them, ask about their kids, shake their hand like I meant it because I asterisked asterisk. We weren't just hauling their goods. We were carrying their trust. Mark, Mr. Harrison from Thompson Foods used to tell me, "You're the only driver I don't have to worry about. You treat our deliveries like they're your own." And I did, because the asterisk were asterisk. Each box, each pallet, it represented someone's livelihood, someone's hard work. That's what Mr. Peterson taught us. Respect. Respect for the load, respect for the customer, respect for each other. But then the money men came sniffing around. Big city suits with shiny shoes and smiles that never quite reached their eyes. Mr. Peterson, he was getting on in years. Tom had his own family to think about, and the offer, well, it was one of those offers you couldn't refuse, they said. It's for the best, Mark. Tom had tried to reassure me, but I saw the doubt in his eyes, the same knot of unease tightening in my own gut. They'll take care of HighPlains, they'll help us grow. Grow? Yeah, it grew. Like a damn tumor. Suddenly, our little family was swallowed by some faceless investment firm from back east. The handshakes got replaced with emails. The heart-to-hearts turned into quarterly reports. New managers started showing up, guys who wouldn't know a lug nut from a donut, barking orders from climate-controlled offices, their hands softer than a baby's backside. They talked about synergy and optimization, but all I saw was the soul of HighPlains shriveling up, dying a slow, agonizing death. The smell of diesel and honest sweat got replaced by the sterile scent of corporate ambition. And the laughter? The easy camaraderie of the early days. That just faded. Like an old photograph left out in the sun. I tried to keep that old spirit alive, to remind the new blood what HighPlains was really about. But it was like shouting into a damn hurricane. They just didn't get it. Or worse, they didn't care. Then asterisk showed up. Chad Baxter. Walked in one Monday morning looking like he'd stepped straight out of a glossy magazine ad for men who have never gotten their hands dirty. Tailored suit, that perfect Kindle hair, and a smile that was all teeth and no warmth. He carried one of those slim leather briefcases that probably cost more than my first car. Operations manager, his new title read. He was younger than my oldest boy, probably hadn't driven anything bigger than a luxury SUV in his life, but suddenly he was telling us how to run a freight company. I remember seeing him strut through the dispatch office, his nose wrinkled ever so slightly, like the smell of actual work offended him. He'd call these endless, mind-numbing meetings, throwing around terms like synergistic paradigms and leveraging core competencies. Most of us just sat there, guys who'd hauled million-dollar loads through blizzards and breakdowns, staring at him like he was speaking Martian. He didn't know the first thing about the grit and the grime, the sheer willpower it took to keep those big rigs rolling, day in and day out. He just saw numbers on a spreadsheet. And me? I guess I started looking like a pretty big, expensive number to him. The call came on a Tuesday. Mark, Mr. Baxter wants to see you in his office. Brenda, bless her heart, she sounded worried. She'd been with HighPlains almost as long as I had, started out answering phones from Mr. Peterson. She knew the score. Walking down that hallway, the one I'd walked 1,000 times, suddenly felt different. The cheap paneling seemed colder, the fluorescent lights harsher. My gut was churning. I'd had run-ins with Baxter before, of course. Tried to explain to him why you can't just reroute a driver mid-haul through a mountain pass in January without checking the damn weather reports first. Tried to tell him that treating drivers like interchangeable parts instead of human beings was going to bite him in the ass. He'd just given me the condescending little smile, the one that said, Asterisk, you're just an old dinosaur. Callahan, your time is past. Asterisk. His office was all chrome and glass, sterile, like an operating room. He was tapping away on his laptop, didn't even look up when I came in. "Oh, Callahan, have a seat." "Not Mark." "Callahan." Like I was some anonymous cog. I sat. The leather chair felt too soft, too slick. He finally closed his laptop with a decisive little click and folded his perfectly manicured hands on his polished desk. "So, Mark," he began, and I braced myself. That tone, it was the tone doctors use before they give you the bad news. "We're making some adjustments, streamlining operations, you understand." Streamlining. That's what they called it. Sounded so clean, so efficient. Like trimming a little fat. My heart started to pound. Asterisk, no asterisk, I thought. Asterisk, he wouldn't. Not after all these years. Not after everything I've given this company. Asterisk. "The thing is, Mark," he continued, his voice smooth as silk, "your compensation package has become a bit of an outlier in the current fiscal model." An outlier. My salary. The money I'd earned, busting my hump for this company, building its reputation one download at a time. I thought of Sarah, of the mortgage, of young Tommy's college fund. My blood ran cold, then hot, a furious flush creeping up my neck. "Are you saying what I think you're saying, Baxter?" My voice came out gravelly, tighter than I wanted. He leaned back, gave me that empty smile again. "We appreciate your years of service, of course, but HighPlains needs to be lean, agile. We're moving in a new direction, and unfortunately, your role, well, is being made redundant." Redundant. Like an old tire. Like a worn-out part you just toss aside. 15 years. 15 years of loyalty, of sweat, of freezing nights and scorching days. 15 years of treating Thompson Fruits like they were my own damn family, of making sure Western Distributing's critical shipments got there on time, every time, no matter what. I'd personally smoothed over so many potential disasters, saved so many accounts with a phone call, a quick route, a personal guarantee. Did this kid, this asterisk, have any earthly idea what that kind of loyalty was worth? Did his precious spreadsheet show him the millions of dollars in business that came through HighPlains doors asterisk because of me asterisk? Because clients trusted Mark Callahan? I could feel the blood roaring in my ears. I wanted to grab him by his expensive tie, drag him out to the yard, make him feel the grease, smell the diesel, understand what asterisk meant asterisk to build something real. "You have no idea what you're doing," I said, my voice shaking with a rage I hadn't felt in years. "You think this company runs on your damn flowcharts and projections, it runs on relationships, it runs on trust, things you wouldn't know the first thing about." He just looked at me, unfazed, a flicker of something, was it pity? Or just boredom? In his eyes. "It's a business decision, Mark, nothing personal." Nothing personal. He was gutting my life, my career, the very thing I poured my soul into, and it was asterisk nothing personal asterisk. That was the moment something inside me snapped. The years of frustration, of watching HighPlains decay from the inside out, of seeing good people pushed aside for profit margins, it all came crashing down. The pain was a physical thing, a vise around my chest. But underneath it, a new feeling started to bubble up. Cold, hard anger. He thought he was just cutting a salary. He had no clue he was about to cut his own damn throat. I stumbled out of that sterile office, his parting words, nothing personal, ringing in my ears like a damn curse. Nothing personal? He'd just taken a wrecking ball to my life, to everything I'd worked for, and it was asterisk nothing personal asterisk. The fluorescent lights of the hallway seemed to mock me, the cheap paneling closing in. I could barely breathe. 15 years of giving my all, of hauling loads through hell and high water, of treating HighPlains like it was my own flesh and blood. For what? To be tossed aside like yesterday's garbage by a kid in a suit who probably thought a fifth wheel was something he found on a unicycle. My truck, old Betsy, sat there in the parking lot, a faithful friend. Getting in felt like seeking refuge. I just sat there for a minute, the silence deafening, the steering wheel cool under my trembling hands. My mind was a damn washing machine, churning with images, Sarah's face when I told her, the disappointment in young Tommy's eyes, the looming mortgage payments. That cold, hard anger from Baxter's office was now mixed with a sickening wave of despair. Asterisk, what now? "Callahan, you old fool, what in God's name are you going to do now?" Asterisk. Then, my phone, sitting on the passenger seat, lit up. An unfamiliar buzzing in the sudden, crushing silence of my new reality. I almost ignored it. Who'd be calling me? But it lit up again, insistent. I picked it up, my throat tight. Thompson Foods. Mr. Harrison. My biggest account. My heart lurched. Asterisk, oh God, he's heard. Baxter's probably already called him to smooth things over, assigned some new lackey. Asterisk. I answered, my voice barely a croak. "Hello?" Mark, is that you? What in the Sam Hill is going on over there? I just got off a very unsatisfactory call with that Baxter fella. Said you were no longer with the company. Harrison's voice was a booming baritone, usually full of good humor, but now it was edged with something sharp. Disbelief. And anger. Yeah, Mr. Harrison, I managed. Afraid so, just got the news myself. News? Mark, this ain't news. This is a damn travesty. Do you think I trust HighPlains with my perishables because of their shiny new logo? Hell no, I trust you asterisk. Mark, you're the one who's pulled our chestnuts out of the fire more times than I can count. That time the reefer unit went out in Arizona. You had another truck there in 3 hours. This Baxter, he doesn't get it, does he? My head was spinning. Before I could even process Harrison's furious loyalty, my call waiting beeped. Western Distributing. Jim Sullivan. Another cornerstone client, one I personally nurtured for over a decade. Mr. Harrison, can I call you right back? I've got Jim Sullivan on the other line. You do that. Mark, can you tell Sullivan I said this whole thing stinks to high heaven. We're not happy, Mark. Not happy at all. I clicked over. Jim? Callahan, thank God. I was just about to drive over there myself. Some pencil pusher named Baxter just told me you were redundant. Mark Callahan, are they insane? Who the hell is gonna handle my rush shipments now? Who's gonna know the back roads to avoid the construction on a -40 without me even asking? Do you think this Baxter knows that? Sullivan sounded like he was about to blow a gasket. He was a man who valued reliability above all else, and for 10 years, had been his reliability. My phone buzzed again. Another call waiting. And another. It was like a damn switch had been flipped. One after another, the names flashed up. Clients I'd bent over backwards for, clients who knew they could call me day or night, clients who trusted Mark Callahan, not the faceless entity HighPlains had become. And suddenly, sitting there in my truck, the engine cold, my future uncertain, it hit me. A jolt so powerful it was like lightning striking the cab. Baxter, in his infinite spreadsheet-driven wisdom, hadn't just fired an old, overpaid driver. Oh no. He'd done something so much more monumentally stupid. He severed the goddamn arteries of his own company. He thought he was cutting costs. What he'd actually cut was the trust, the loyalty, the relationships that kept those million-dollar contracts flowing. He'd looked at me and seen a number. He hadn't seen the years of goodwill, the late-night calls, the problem-solving that saved clients fortunes and kept them coming back. The despair that had been crushing me just moments before. It began to recede, pushed out by a surge of something else. A wild, defiant energy. My hands were still shaking, but not from fear or rage anymore. It was adrenaline. Pure, unadulterated, fighting adrenaline. He thought he was getting rid of Mark Callahan. He had no idea what he just unleashed. I looked at my phone, still buzzing with incoming calls from furious clients. A slow grin spread across my face, the first genuine smile I'd felt in months. You want lean and agile, Baxter? I thought. You want a new direction. Well, you're about to get one you never saw coming. My gaze fell on the passenger seat, where I always kept my one leather-bound address book, filled with the names and numbers of every driver, every mechanic, every dispatcher who, like me, had been ground down by the new HighPlains regime. An idea, reckless and terrifying and absolutely exhilarating, began to form in my mind. I fumbled for my phone, my fingers suddenly nimble. I scrolled past the incoming client calls, right to a number I knew by heart. Gary Reynolds. My oldest friend, best damn driver I knew, a man who'd also been muttering about Baxter's idiocy for months. He'd been with HighPlains almost as long as I had. He'd know other good men, too. Men who were tired of being treated like grease racks. Gary answered on the second ring. Callahan, what's up? Gary, I said, my voice clear now, steady, infused with a purpose I hadn't felt in years. How do you feel about starting our own damn freight line? Gary's garage was a damn whirlwind, smelling of stale coffee, sweat, and the faintest whiff of, well, hope, I guess. We were burning the midnight oil, scribbling notes on greasy napkins, trying to figure out how in the hell 2 old truckers with more grit than cash were gonna launch a freight line. Insurance quotes that made my eyes water, permit applications that read like ancient hieroglyphics, sourcing decent rigs that wouldn't fall apart on the first haul. It was like trying to climb a damn mountain in flip-flops. We were calling in every favor we'd ever earned, feeling like we were building a lifeboat in the middle of a Category 5. Then my phone buzzed, an unknown number. I nearly ignored it, figured it was another snake oil salesman trying to sell us something we couldn't afford. Callahan, I grunted, probably a little too sharply. Mark, it's Brenda from dispatch at HighPlains. Her voice was a scared whisper, like she was huddled in a closet, afraid Baxter himself would materialize out of the damn drywall. Brenda. Sharp as a whip, always had a kind word, one of the few decent souls left drowning in that corporate cesspool. My stomach clenched. Brenda, you okay? What's going on? Listen, Mark, I can't talk long, and I really shouldn't be doing this there practically, bugging the damn water cooler these days, but you need to hear this. She took a shaky breath, and I could almost see her looking over her shoulder. Baxter and those sharks from corporate, they're not just trimming fat, Mark, they're planning to axe the entire Tulsa operation lock, stock, and barrel. 6 months tops, maybe sooner. They're just siphoning off every last dime, then they're gonna padlock the gates and leave everyone twisting in the wind. No severance, no warning, nothing. The cheap linoleum of Gary's garage floor suddenly felt like it was miles below me. Asterisk 6 months. Asterisk all those guys in the shop, the drivers who hadn't bailed yet, the folks in the office, people I'd shared lukewarm coffee and roadside breakdowns with for years. Good, hard-working people. Baxter wasn't just amputating a limb to save the body, he was planning to murder the whole damn patient in its sleep and pocket the insurance money. The sheer and adulterated bastardy of it sent a shiver down my spine. Brenda, are you absolutely sure? My voice was barely a whisper. Saw the emails myself, Mark, the internal strategy docs. They think they're slick, think no one's paying attention. They're gonna screw over every last man and woman there. You and Gary, you need to know what you're really fighting. And hey, her voice softened for a split second, for whatever it's worth, we're all pulling for you guys. Then click. She was gone. I just stood there, the phone still pressed to my ear, the silence deafening. Asterisk shutting it all down. Asterisk Gary must have seen the blood drain from my face. Mark, what in God's name happened? You look like you just saw your own damn obituary. I told him. Every gut-wrenching word. His face went ashen. This wasn't just about our pride anymore, about building something for ourselves. This was a goddamn rescue mission now. The weight on our shoulders, already heavy enough to bow a steel girder, suddenly felt 10 times heavier. How the hell were asterisk we asterisk, two guys with a dream and a whole lot of IOUs, supposed to fight asterisk that asterisk? We were still trying to process it, the ethic with the spoken fears, when my phone rang again. This time, the caller ID made my heart hammer against my ribs like a trap bird. Asterisk Peterson, William S.R. Asterisk Old Man Peterson. The guy who'd founded HighPlains with his own 2 hands and a prayer, the man who'd given me my first real break behind the wheel, the man who'd sold the company and practically vanished, his heart broken when the bean counters started tearing its soul out. I hadn't heard his voice in 5, maybe 6 years. My hand was shaking so bad I almost dropped the phone. Mr. Peterson. Mark Callahan, by the saints. It asterisk is asterisk you. My boy Bill Jr. told me you were finally stirring up some righteous dribble, starting something decent again. How that snake oil salesman Baxter finally showed you the door. His voice, older now, sure, but still with that familiar, comforting rumble, was now edged with a righteous fury I hadn't heard since he chewed out a supplier for sending him bad tires back in '98. Yes, sir, Mr. Peterson, that's what Gary Reynolds and I are trying to do. I was stunned. How in the world had asterisk heard? The grapevine in this industry was something else, but this was lightning fast, trying my ass. Mark. I heard about Thompson Foods going ballistic. Western Distributing raising hell. Heard your old clients are ready to jump ship and follow asterisk to the ends of the earth. Now, I've also been hearing some asterisk deeply asterisk unsettling things about what those corporate buzzards are plotting for my old company, for asterisk my asterisk people down there in Tulsa. His voice turned hard as granite. It turns my stomach, Mark, makes me ashamed of the name HighPlains. He paused, and I heard him draw a ragged breath. Bill Jr. told me you boys were looking for some sort of capital, some serious backing, said you were trying to build it solid, build it right. Well, Mark, I've got a little proposition for you. I've been sitting on a nest egg, saving it for a real storm, and from where I'm sitting, son, it looks like a damn hurricane's about to hit. I want to help you show these bastards how a real freight company is run. Let's build something right this time, Mark, something with heart, something that asterisk last asterisk. Then, he dropped the bomb that nearly sent me to my knees. I'm wiring you a check, Mark. Enough to get you some good iron under you, get your permits, get an office that ain't a greasy garage. Enough to get you airborne. All I ask is you promise me you'll look out for all those good folks Baxter and his cronies are about to throw on the scrap heap. I couldn't find my voice. A lump the size of a fist was lodged in my throat. Tears hot and unexpected welled in my eyes. Not tears of grief, but of a gratitude so fierce it burned. Of a hope so sudden and bright it was damn near blinding. Gary was just staring, his jaw practically on the floor. Mr. Peterson, I finally managed, my voice thick and cracking. I don't know what to say. Say you'll do it, Mark. Say you'll take their poison and turn it into medicine. Say you'll build a company we can all stand tall for again. And right there, in Gary's cluttered, chaotic garage, with the future of so many good people suddenly resting on our shoulders, a new, wildfire roared to life in my chest. Yes, sir, I said, my voice suddenly clear, strong, unwavering. Yes, sir, Mr. Peterson, we damn well will. And just like that, with old man Peterson's blessing and a hell of a lot more than pocket change lighting a fire under our asses, Callahan and Reynolds' freight wasn't just a dream scribbled on greasy napkins anymore. It asterisk exploded asterisk into life. That money hit our account, and it felt like strapping a rocket to our backs. We weren't just climbing that mountain in flip-flops now, we had down jet boots. First thing we did, we got an office. Not some sterile box, but a place with good coffee, a few comfortable chairs, and a big damn window looking out onto a yard that was soon to be filled. Then came the trucks, not brand new, not yet, but solid, dependable rigs. We painted them a deep, honest blue with a silver streak down the side, our names right there for the world to see, Callahan and Reynolds. Every time I saw one pull out, loaded and ready, a piece of me healed that I didn't even realize was so broken. And the people lured the people. The minute word got out that we were hiring, really hiring, and that Mr. Peterson was behind us, it was like a damn exodus from HighPlains. Our old mechanics, the ones Baxter had squeezed and belittle, they were the first to show up, tools in hand, grinning like they'd just been liberated. Then the drivers, the good ones, the lifers who knew every backroad and way station trick, they started calling, one after another. Heard you boys are doing it right, Mark, they'd say. What room for one more? We made room. Every skilled hand that walked through our door was a slap in Baxter's smug face, another nail in HighPlains' coffin. We weren't just building a company, we were building an ark for all the good folks Baxter was ready to let drown. And Brenda? Oh, we got Brenda out of there too. Snatched her right from under their noses. She ran our dispatch like a seasoned general, her voice no longer a scared whisper, but strong, confident, the nerve center of our whole operation. Meanwhile, over at HighPlains, it was like watching a slow-motion train wreck, but honestly, it happened faster than any of us predicted. Baxter, with his MBA and his streamlining, he'd cut the muscle and bone and left nothing but flab. Thompson Foods, Western Distributing, they were true to their word. The day our first blue and silver rig pulled up to their docks, they cancelled their HighPlains contracts. One by one, all those clients I'd spent years building relationships with, they jumped ship. We heard whispers first, then upright shouts, loads being missed, deliveries botched, their best drivers gone. Baxter was scrambling, trying to plug 1,000 holes in a sinking ship with his fancy spreadsheets, but he didn't understand. He never understood that this business ain't about numbers, it's about people. It's about trust. The phone calls from HighPlains drivers, the ones still trapped, became more desperate. Paychecks bouncing. Equipment falling apart. Morale hitting rock bottom. It was a damn ghost town over there, haunted by the greed of corporate suits who wouldn't know a kingpin from a lutnut. Then came the news we all knew was inevitable, though it still sent a jolt through me. HighPlains Freight Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Lock, stock and barrel just like Brenda had warned. But not on their terms, not siphoning off the profits first. No, this was a messy, ugly collapse. The vultures from corporate who'd bathed Baxter, they lost their shirts. Dude. And Baxter? Chad Baxter, the man who'd smirked as he threw away 15 years of my life. He didn't get a golden parachute. He didn't get a quiet exit. We heard he packed his Lexus in the middle of the night and slunk out of Tulsa like a rat deserting a condemned building, leaving behind a legacy of failure and a whole lot of angry at unemployed people he'd promised the world to. I almost felt a flicker of pity. Almost. But then I thought of all the lives he'd been ready to ruin, and that flicker died real quick. Sometimes, late at night, I'd stand by the big window in our office, looking out at our yard, packed with those blue and silver trucks, lights on, engines humming, drivers getting ready to roll. I'd think back to that day, standing in the HighPlains parking lot, feeling like the whole world had dropped out from under me. Who's Mark Callahan now? I'd wondered. Well, now I knew. I was a man who'd been kicked down, sure, but got back up with a hell of a lot of good people beside him. It wasn't about revenge, not really. Not anymore. Standing there, smelling the faint, sweet scent of diesel and the promise of the open road, it was about something more. It was about proving that decency and hard work still meant something. It was about building something that lasted, something with heart, just like old man Peterson wanted. And every time one of our trucks hit the highway, carrying the name Callahan and Reynolds, it felt like we damn well had. We really, really had. So yeah, Callahan and Reynolds' rate was more than just alive, it was thriving. And those suits like Baxter? They thought they were so damn smart playing with spreadsheets and making those ruthless cuts. But they missed the simplest damn thing, business isn't about numbers on a page. It's about loyalty. It's about respect. It's about the sweat and grit of the people, calloused hands that actually get the job done. For a while there, back when Baxter first pulled that rug out from under me, maybe it was about revenge. A hot, burning anger that fueled those early days. But standing there, watching my guys, guys, roll out, that fire changed. It wasn't about burning Baxter down anymore. It was about proving that when you treat good folks like they're disposable, like they're just trash to be tossed aside, the one who ends up in the damn junkyard. Integrity, treating people right asterisk that's asterisk the fuel that keeps you going, that steers you towards a horizon with every single fi. Asterisk, yeah, asterisk, I think, a deep satisfaction settling in my bones, a feeling heavier and more real than any revenge, asterisk, this is it. This is what it truly means to build something real. Asterisk.